offensive line. Jeremy Pruitt and Dan Mullen both in their third seasons as head coach. Mullen did a little, some nice dancing to Van Halen with Ginny Dell pregame as well. 6 feet apart. Tennessee will receive the opening kick. 23,000 fans approximately here at Neyland Stadium. So not as loud as it usually is for Florida and Tennessee. Tailgating is prohibited. The 50th meeting between Florida and Tennessee. Jones will take it out of the end zone. And Jones stopped short of the 20-yard line. So here is the Tennessee offense led by Harrison Bailey, the true freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Led the Blue Devils of Marietta High to their first state title in 52 years. For the Vols, he's played in 3 games, but his first start, what Tennessee hopes is a turning point for the Volunteers. And the contact tracing and quarantine for Jared Garantano played into that. We have some updates on Shrout and Maurer as well at quarterback for Tennessee. A little doing on first down for Eric Gray as we take a look at the rest of the Tennessee offensive starters.
Well, it's going to come down to the offensive line for this team. They've done a tremendous job this season, especially as of late. They love that zone downhill run football game, and if they're able to get Eric Gray going early on, you're going to see some one-on-one opportunities on the outside, and then that's when you're going to start to see some shots from this young quarterback.
Gray has accounted for a third of Tennessee's offense. Bailey, the true freshman, gives it to Gray again. So 3rd and 5 coming up for the Vols on the opening possession as we take a look at the D.
Well, for them, it's going to get, can you get pressure on this young quarterback? Can you mix up the coverages? And Grantham wants to get his best players matched up one-on-one. And one of those guys is Brandon Cox on the outside. 3rd down and medium to long, see if you can get after the quarterback.
The Vols have been bad on 3rd down on both sides of the ball. Only 12 teams in the FBS worse 3rd down offensively. On 3rd and 5, Bailey steps up and leaves it short. It was intended for Johnson, and the Vols will go 3 and out on the opening drive.
And just a little bit late there, uncertain with his eyes. Where did he want to go with the football? And that's a dangerous one. If you're going to be late throwing those quick outs, usually those turn into turnovers. But kind of as a young quarterback, you just want to get through that first possession, especially against an elite team like Florida. Just calm your nerves a little bit. Hopefully they can run the football a little bit better there when they get the ball back in their second possession.
Kadarius Toney, 50-yard touchdown. Late first half versus Kentucky to give Florida the lead. So Brooks punting to Toney, signals for the fair catch. And the Gators will get it right around the 25-yard line. Led by Kyle Trask, the most unlikely of Heisman favorites. All the numbers look good. Kyle told us this week his senior year of high school, Manville, Texas, he wasn't sure if he would get the chance to play college football. The Gators offered through a coaching change, through QB competitions, backing up through it all. Kyle Trask has grown into the next great Gator quarterback.
He really has. He's had a tremendous year, one of those special years. And you know what else looks good? Those blue helmets. I kind of like them. Wasn't so sure before the game, but they look good right now.
Fake it to Pierce. Trask complete on the edge. Toney tackled after a solid gain on first down by Theo Jackson. Let's look at the rest of the Gators starters on offense.
Well, we talked a lot about Kyle Pitts in the open, about what they move him around, and there's so much focus from the defense about, is he in the slot, is he backside? Well, if you're going to put a safety in a corner on him and a lot of focus, then Kadarius Toney, as we saw this past play, is going to get some one-on-one opportunities against linebackers, against nickels, and as we've seen so far this year, he will make you pay with his speed.
Bulls show pressure. Tries to throw on 2nd and 2. That is complete. And it's Grimes who makes the grab for the first down with Burrell in coverage as we take a look at the Tennessee defensive starters.
And for Tennessee, it's let's just keep everything in front, see if we can maybe cause a turnover or two and eliminate the explosive plays. And one of the best guys on this defense is Thompson, number 0, the corner. He's a guy that plays well with his eyes. He'll be in the slot. He'll play a little safety as well. Like to move him around and match him up.
Trask will give it to Pierce on the right side. Pierce maybe a couple on first down for the junior from Georgia, who has 3 of the Gators' 6 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And what Pruitt told us yesterday in the coach's call, he said, listen, not trying to be funny or anything, but the first thing we need to do is stop the run. You know, if we can slow down the run, make it second and long, make it third and long, to go along with this shell defense, we may have an opportunity to slow down this offense a little bit in this ball game.
4 wide on second down. Pierce again. Well, the Bulls are following Jeremy Pruitt's advice early on. He seemed very confident, Jeremy Pruitt, for a team that's lost 5 games, all by double digits. Coach Pruitt had some juice going.
He does, and listen, you have to have the excitement. If you're a head football coach of an SEC team, rivalry game, going against a top 10 team, you better come in there with confidence because your team feeds off of you. So all we can practice, and obviously talking with the media, it's lots of confidence. We're ready for this big upset this weekend. And we'll see if they can get off the field here on third down and medium.
Only 11 teams worse in the nation defensively on third down. Trask on 3rd and 7. Pressure complete. First down and more. It's Toney across the 50 into Tennessee territory down to the 37 before Jackson finally catches up with him.
And this is what Toney does so well. He's going to run a little bit of juke route. He's going to settle and then boom, explode to the middle of the field. You're not sure if he's going to sit in zone. And then that quickness and speed to separate. All that grass in the middle field's wide open. You know what he wants to do. It's just tough to, he's slippery, man. He is slippery in the slot.
That's a gain of 22. Another explosive play for Kadarius Toney and a perfect start for Kyle Trask. 3 for 3 and make it 4 for 4, and the Gators are already in the red zone. Copeland hauls it in.
There's too much talent on this offense. We talk about Pitts. Kadarius Toney making play, and then you get Copeland matched up one-on-one just on a simple corner route. You got the back in the flat. You got a corner over top. It's just a 1-2 easy read. Plenty of time to make the completion for Trask.
39 yards on the last 2 completions. Trask pressure, gets rid of it. Pierce hit hard on the edge. First incompletion. Crouch applies the pressure on Kyle Trask.
And that's a great job by Tennessee. Feeling like the pressure was coming from the right side. Trask moved his offensive line. 5 guys, let's go right a little bit. Did not account for the blitzer on the left. You see the free rusher having to get the ball out of his hands just a little bit too early.
Now, Kyle Trask only been sacked 8 times, 6'5", 240. He's tough to bring down.
What Pruitt say? He's like Ben Roethlisberger back there, he said.
On the reverse, Toney has it in his hands again inside the 15. And they will get it to Toney just about every way you can imagine.
Yeah, and go back to even last week, the punt return before halftime. I mean, how that changed the game. He's just such a dynamic player. Didn't have the best of stats the past couple seasons. You know, 2019, only 10 receptions, and he's really done a great job this year. 45 receptions, 7 touchdowns heading into the ball game here today.
Third down in the red zone, opening drive for the Gators. Trask, end zone, incomplete. Looking for Pitts, double covered, so throws it out the back of the end zone.
And he actually had him. If he would have just picked the spot about middle of the end zone, 5 yards deep, and thrown it right there on the sideline, most likely would have been a touchdown. Playing a cover 2 defense, same route they just threw to Copeland a few plays ago. You got a flat with the back, you got a corner route. All you're going to do is high-low that corner. He made the right read, just got to make the throw there. Would have been an easy 6 points to his big tight end.
Evan McPherson, one of the best kickers in college football. He did this from 45 versus Kentucky. This would be from 30. McPherson's 30-yarder is easily good, and Florida has a 3-0 lead on opening drive field goal. The Vols hold Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts out of the end zone. Florida 3-0 on Tennessee.
I can have a
This is what Jeremy Pruitt was brought in to do, to start winning these games against the rivals in the East. Georgia, obviously Florida, win the game versus Alabama there in the West, and they got to start chipping away. I know some comments early in the season, he felt like the gap was closing. I don't know. I don't know if it's close, and they're going to have an opportunity today to see if they can close the gap a little bit with Florida, make this thing close. And it's going to start this next possession offensively if they're going to be able to run the football.
Well, Jeremy Pruitt knows the realities of SEC and big-time football and 5-game losing streaks and 6-game losing streaks, so he's certainly aware of everything swirling around Knoxville. More on that as we go. Touchback, bring it back to the 25. We will check the flag. Looks like, we'll see. Steve Marlowe, our referee. Replay officials, John Bible.
Offside. Kicking team, number 11. 5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
And we will re-kick. Monday on CBS, Simone Missick is back as Judge Lola Carmichael. It's her court and her rules. The CBS original series All Rise. New episode Monday, 9, 8 Central on CBS. Aaron Murray still undefeated at Neyland Stadium, right?
Yeah, 2-0. 2-0 heading into the ball game today.
And a winning start.
And for this Florida Gator kickoff team, just a most likely another wind sprint down the field to get those legs a little bit more juiced.
All right, McPherson kicking from the 30. Jones takes it from the goal line for the Volunteers, and he is shoved back to the 17. So tough starting field position. Tennessee 3 and out on the opening drive. So yeah, it's been since, let's see, 2018 since a ranked opponent, and then top 10 team at home, 06 versus Florida.
And we said, I mean, Jeremy Pruitt feels like this is an opportunity for this team, even with a true freshman quarterback making his first start. That they feel like they have the secret sauce right now in preparation for this week in this football game against the Gators. You just got to make it close early on, and then in rivalry games, you never know what could happen in the second half.
Chandler is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Brenton Cox Jr. gets the tackle for loss. That is 54 tackles for loss, most in the SEC for the Gator D.
You might want to block Cox coming into this game. One of the best defensive ends at creating pressure, and if you're going to leave him one-on-one with right on the outside, that's just tough in this zone scheme.
Lots of former Georgia Bulldog. Played with Cade Mays for Georgia. And nothing much doing on second down as well as Chandler trips. So now you're in 3rd and long for Tennessee.
And it's not like Florida's doing anything crazy right now. They're just playing coverage, and looks like he tripped right over Cooper Mays, making his first start at the center position. Just got bullied back there in the backfield. But I think Todd Grantham right now in this defense, they're just going to play a little cover 4, get some safety support, and just say, listen, we're not going to put ourselves out of position and allow Tennessee to create an explosive play. All eyes on the backfield, keep everything in front.
Harrison Bailey on 3rd and 12. Complete over the middle. It is caught and good enough for a first down. Johnson holds it in. Bailey completes it, and Tennessee converts on 3rd and long. There is a late flag in the backfield. Gain of 13.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 58 for Tennessee. We also have unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 for Florida. They're the first of the game for them. Fouls will cancel. First down.
That's Jameer Johnson and Brenton Cox Jr. getting tangled up.
That has to feel pretty good right there for Bailey to come in there, get the completion. this is someone who's played this year, but mostly late in the football game when they're down by 14, 21 plus points, and it's just been very soft defenses, dink and dunk. So to get that first completion in this ball game today, let's see if he can continue this momentum.
Slipping again, Chandler. I mean, he tripped over Cooper Mays and then just slips for another loss in the backfield on first down.
We'll see if there's any tangle with his quarterback in the backfield. No, just slips. And the last thing you want to do against Florida and Todd Grantham is getting the second and third and long situations. That's when he likes to get really creative, unique odd fronts, blitzes coming from all over the place. You want to stay ahead of the chains.
Go empty on 2nd and 13 after the loss on first down. Bailey complete on the edge. That's Johnson who brings it across the 30 and gives you a shot on 3rd down.
But that is a run play right there. That's all it is. It's hey, we got numbers. It's 3-on-2. We have to have 2 good blockers by our outside receivers. And that's another way for this team just to get the ball in the hand nice and easy. Nice, easy throw, on time, in rhythm. But still, 3rd and 10, you cannot live in this situation. I mean, you talked about it earlier. This team has struggled on 3rd down, both offensively and defensively. You're not going to have a lot of success. I mean, look at Florida right now. This is what they like to do. Create a lot of confusion up front. Who's going to block who, and see if they can get a free guy at the quarterback.
Ray's back in the game with Bailey. True freshman center, true freshman quarterback. So pressure up the middle. Bailey stands in, delivers. It is caught, but well short of the first down. Well short. Gray makes the grab. Diabate with the pressure. So 4th and 5, and Tennessee has to punt again.
And Tony's back there. Big punt return last week, 50-yard return for the touchdown. He's scary. I don't even know what you want to do if you're a punter right now. Just punt it as high as you can. Don't worry about distance and try to force a fair catch.
So Paxton Brooks punts it away, and Tony backs up. Pulls for the fair catch. So well done by Paxton Brooks. Fair catch. Kadarius Toney. The Gators are backed up, but they can get in the end zone in a hurry. Field goal drive on the first possession. I love it when you even just mentioned Heisman to Kyle Trask. We talked to him this week. He literally gave it the one game at a time. I still have a lot of room to improve, but I mean, that kind of sums up Kyle Trask.
Well, we talk about coach speak all the time. This is a true quarterback speak right there. Just moving on. Don't talk about it. Let's just focus on our next opponent.
Davis motions out. Trask from inside his own 5 leaves it high and incomplete. Triple coverage on Kyle Pitts. So look at how the numbers stack up, and comparisons are hard to make, but I mean, Kyle Trask with 34 touchdown passes. These are the last 3 Heisman winners through 8 games, and of course Trask has been all against SEC competition. Yeah, an all SEC schedule, and let's not forget those 3 guys are also first picks in the draft right there. That's some good company to have. It's been a tremendous season, very accurate, over 70% completion, only 3 interceptions, taking care of the football. However, Trask has missed his last 3 passes, gets right again, finding Pierce, and Pierce to near the 20. It'll be 3rd and short coming up. So it was a 4-for-4 start for Trask, and he missed his next 3. I tell you what, sometimes playing at just a cover 2 defense, it's tough. It really is. The windows are not easy to get into. Those corners can bait you into thinking that you have that corner route, but they back up just like they did 2 plays ago. This is why you want to see a Florida team that can run the football a little bit, take advantage of a lighter box. Malik Davis had that grab for a gain of 8, and now fake it to him. Trask on the roll. Complete across the 30, first down, and it's Henderson who makes the grab. Xavier Henderson, the true freshman from Miami, with Taylor in coverage, still coming back from a hamstring. Well, it's not enough that you got Toney and Grimes and Copeland and Pitts and Pierce and Davis. Yeah, you got a freshman as well, and Henderson, who's been playing a little bit more and making a nice first down catch there on the cross route. Toney in a stack at the bottom. Give it to Malik Davis. And he is ridden down for a loss, and it's Henry To'o, the sophomore, De La Salle, who is emerging on the Tennessee defense.
Well, he is the leader of this football team, very vocal, and he shows it in practice, he shows it in the weight room, and he's fun to watch. He's fast. He had a beautiful pick six early on in this season, and if this team is going to find a way to slow down this offense, obviously the secondary has to play well, but like Jeremy Pruitt said, goal number one, slow down the run, and that's a lot to do with that second level in those linebackers.
Davis has it. To'o again leads the Tennessee defense, along with Jeremy Banks, the forced third down for the Gators.
And once again, this second level, you see the linebackers in Florida not known as a great rushing football team. They're going to stay committed to it just to keep a balance and to keep you honest. But if you can slow down this run and put them in these third and long situations, that's what you want to do. And once again, you got to watch out for Tony in the slot. Also Pitts in the slot up top. You got your two best players against linebackers and safeties. Take your pick.
Trask on 3rd and 10. Feels the pressure. Steps up. Tony has the grab. Across the 50 again. Tony still on his feet to the 46 before McCullough finally brings him down.
It's two-man, and you can't let your guy get inside of you. And he just does such a tremendous job getting to the top and fight. You see the inside leverage? Don't let him get inside of you. There's no support in two-man in the middle of the field. You want to push everything to the outside. But when you got a guy like Tony, it's easier said than done. It may look good on paper, but when you got a slot receiver with those kind of moves, not easy.
53 receiving yards already for Kadarius Toney. Trask 1st and 10. Wheel caught. Davis. Flag is down as Davis goes rolling into the end zone. Touchdown Gators. And now we'll check the flag.
I think we may get interference here. But our offensive guys like to see interference. The defense likes to call it a pick. And Florida loves this play. You run a little 5-yard hitch. You run interference. You run a wheel route by the running back.
Pass interference. Offense number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. We play first down.
We're going to see if he does a good job of selling it. Let's see if we get it. You see I don't know, he's running his route right there. You can see at the top the receiver, but that's what they're looking for. They're looking for these picks. And I'm sure Jeremy Pruitt let him know ahead of time, like, hey, they run this play a lot. Be on the lookout for it.
Think that was enough to call it a pick rather than a rub?
I think receiver, you continue to run your route and you don't stop your feet. I would let it play, but you know, it's you toss up either way.
1st and 25. Tennessee has to use a timeout.
Timeout, Tennessee.
So
first of the
now
half.
Can Jeremy Pruitt's Volunteers take advantage? Still 3-0 Florida. History, my esteemed colleague atop the list. Tua might be starting for the Dolphins.
A lot of Gators on that list right there, and obviously throwing Manning as well. And I think if Trask had another year or two of eligibility, which he does technically, he could come back next year. May move on up if he continues to play like this.
Yeah, around Knoxville, any discussion of quarterback play must begin with Peyton Manning.
Yes, as it should.
As it should. And now on 1st and 25, Kyle Trask. That is complete. 1st and 25 again because the offensive pass interference wiping out. Timeout Tennessee. Flowers makes the grab. The Gators trying to get back on schedule.
And they want to start off fast. You look at the past 2 weeks for this team, a little bit slow against lesser competition, and they kind of pick it up there in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and this is exactly what Tennessee wants to do. Make this a close game in the 1st quarter, make it a close game in the 2nd quarter, and then you just never know what can happen in a rivalry football game.
Well, the Volunteers' 3rd quarter has been the major issue this year, but keep it close for now, then we'll deal with the 3rd quarter if you're Tennessee. And sure enough, they have forced 3rd and long after the short carry from Wright.
And this is going to be an interesting play call right here. I mean, listen, they got a kicker with a big leg. Dan Mullen feels good from, what, 60-plus? He pretty much told us in the meetings this week. And I don't know if you want to kick a 60-plus field goal here in the 1st quarter, but an opportunity to go for it on 4th down. So some quick hitters, and See what you can do with the ball afterwards.
With Big Bird cheering on the Tennessee defense, 3rd and 16. Trask on the screen to the 41. And it's shorter, so 4th down, no man's land, and
listen, you got the #1 guy for the Heisman Trophy right now. You've been great in these medium situations. You got Tony, you got Pitts. But they're going to play it safe. They're going to punt the ball. Listen, nothing wrong with that. Also, your defense has played well, and they got a freshman quarterback and have 1 first down right now. So you understand what Dan Mullen's trying to do.
So Van will try and pin him back. From here would be bobbled, but still pinned inside the 5, inside the 2 by the Gators. So Van pins him again.
Against Michigan State, but Carter and Aaron, you would seem to have the front runner right there in front of you.
And of course, our eyes on Kyle Trask. And how do you evaluate so far the Heisman front runner today?
Listen, it's tough sledding when you're going to face a team that plays a lot of too high safety. I mean, I go back to my freshman year, we played UCF, and all they ran was cover 2, and it's just so frustrating. Not a lot of windows to make completions out there, and you just got to pick and choose his spots.
Gray has it for Tennessee near the goal line. Diabate makes the stop.
And for Tennessee right now, I know offensively you haven't been able to do too much, and this run game has not been productive, but 3-0 against the #6 team in the country. I think most Vol fans would be pretty happy about that heading into the second quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter with the score. 6th ranked Florida 3, Tennessee nothing. We'll return to Knoxville after this message and a word from your local.
Now, after Tennessee's last offensive series, Harrison Bailey was met by Jerry Garantano, who before today started every single game this season as he walked off the field. Garantano giving him some advice, and quarterback coach Chris Winkie spent the rest of the time with him until he stepped back out onto the field. Now, coach Jeremy Pruitt said that he's been able to gain some confidence over the last 2 weeks, developing as more of a leader, guys.
Now, thank you, Jenny. It's Gray on the first carry of the second quarter. The important update there for Tennessee, JT Shrout was going to play this week, but tore his labrum in practice. And then Brian Maurer pulled his hammy in practice this week. So right now it's Bailey, Garantano just coming back from the contact tracing quarantine, and the true freshman Harrison Bailey. So
well, with offenses scoring 40-50 points a game, you need a quarterback, and it has been a revolving chair here in Tennessee, and it's frustrating when you watch all these other games and teams are scoring 30, 40, 50 points, and you're struggling to get in the 20s, and a lot has to do with that quarterback play.
Now with the play clock winding down, 3rd and 8. Bailey from his own end zone. Delivers, caught! First down, Tennessee, Velus Jones Jr., the grad transfer from USC. Big conversion for Tennessee.
Well, it's a beautiful job reading the coverage. He knows it's man-to-man, singled up on the backside, and these back shoulder throws are just too easy. You see it at every level. Aaron Rodgers on Sunday is one of the best at it. You throw it back there, the DB just can't make a play fast enough, and usually if they do, it's a pass interference.
19-yard gain. Empty on first down. Bailey rolls away from the pressure and slides down, and it's Zachary Carter who finishes it off for the Gators.
That's one thing that's going to be a little bit different from Garantano. Garantano coverage like that, 2-man, no one really eyed on the quarterback. He uses his legs to get 5-10 yards, and that's not Bailey's game. Bailey's a guy that's going to sit in the pocket. He's going to throw one like he did that back shoulder 2 plays ago and hopefully be a little bit more accurate. And I think what Tennessee fans want to see is just take care of the football. They're just so sick of the turnovers and this team shooting themselves in the foot game after game after game.
Play action on second down. And now Bailey to Gray, comes back to make the grab, and Gray goes rolling across the 35 for another Tennessee first down from Eric Gray, the sophomore from Memphis.
And what a great job. I mean, he's going to be looking to the right side of the field. He goes 1, 2. This is his 4th receiver. And for a freshman to get through the 1, 2, and 3 and find the back on the other side of the field in his first start against Florida, you got to be impressed with that.
Bailey pressured again, finds Gray again, but he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Here comes another flag in the backfield on Bailey. Around Bailey, I should say.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 10 defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
You know us quarterbacks are a little soft, so they're going to take care of us, and nothing wrong with that. And it's just a silly penalty. You're the number 16 in the country. You're well coached. You can't be doing that kind of stupid stuff. And one thing I've liked from these past 2 plays from Bailey is a lot of young quarterbacks, when they get through the progression, they get stuck on number 1. And maybe they get to number 2, like, man, I just really want to make this happen. All week in practice, we've been working on throwing this route. They don't trust their feet. They don't trust their eyes. And he's showing us that he can get through his progressions.
Penalties on Andrew Chatfield Jr. and then the direct snap to Eric Gray. So get it in the hands of Eric Gray, a third of Tennessee's offense, and he has been terrific.
He has been tremendous here, especially in November. You look at the last couple games, 173 yards versus Auburn, 123 yards versus Arkansas. He is the perfect back to match this powerful offensive line.
So give it to him again. Bailey, good push, has enough of the first down inside the 35. Campbell makes the stop. So he was originally committed to Michigan. Big get for the Tennessee Vols, and he has been the bright spot for the Tennessee offense.
Through November, 148 yards through the month of November, and with all the quarterback struggles, with the inconsistency, with the turnovers, with putting guys in left and right, at least you know at the end of the day, we can run the football. And if you can run the football, if you can control the clock, that gives you an opportunity to win these type of ball games against a defense that has struggled against the run.
Gray takes it again on first down inside the 30. Looking similar to Florida's game against Kentucky. First half-wise anyway, with time of possession, running the football, playing keep away from Trask and Pitts and Tony in the offense.
The best defense sometimes is just playing great offense, is keeping Kyle Trask and Pitts and Tony off the field. And it's like playing a triple offense team. We played Georgia Tech every single year. It's frustrating because you're going to lose 2, 3, sometimes 4 possessions. And for a team like Florida that is based on rhythm and timing, you wear those guys out a little bit by just standing on the sideline.
Hyde goes in motion. Fake it to Gray, and now Bailey stepping up. Bailey chased, takes it inside the 20 and goes sliding inside the 15. And Harrison Bailey gets the Tennessee fans here kneeling fired up.
I guess he was not happy about my comment that he can't run like Garantano. He pulls it, and Gray through his read that once again they try a little pump to the outside screen and then get a receiver screaming down the sideline. Great coverage on the outside. No one worried about the quarterback run, and he made him pay. But right now the offensive line doing their thing in the run game and then giving their quarterback plenty of time to once again get through his reads. No one's there. I may not be the fastest, but if no one's eyeing me, I can at least get 10 to 15 yards.
15 on that scramble. Tennessee has had a red zone turnover in each of the last 2 games.
Don't jinx him, Carter.
Timeout, Tennessee. Their second of the half.
Critical red zone. Second timeout. Discusses things with his freshman QB. Zucker. Meanwhile, the Florida Gators will win there in the SEC championship game, but it is Tennessee in the red zone. Chandler and Gray both in the backfield with Harrison Bailey. Completed. It's Gray, and it's touchdown, Tennessee. The Volunteers on top on the first career touchdown pass from Harrison Bailey. A 96-yard drive to take the lead on Florida.
And it's just great blocking down the field by everyone. And it's an extension of the run play. That's all this is. It's a run. Quick little throw to the slide, to the swing route, and great blocking on the edge. Look at number 1, Velus Jones on the outside, blocking his tail off against the cornerback to get his buddy in the end zone to take this lead.
Samaglia boots it through, and Tennessee has the lead on Florida. Into the hands of Little E, as they call him, Eric Gray, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Harrison Bailey has, that was a heck of a drive. 96 yards, half of the yards on that drive from Gray, almost half, but Harrison Bailey caps it off with a touchdown pass.
Yeah, beautiful one-on-one back shoulder throw on 3rd down, and then just getting through his reads, finding his back out of the backfield, and then the extension of the run play. They love these 3-man bubbles where you get 2 or 3 blockers on the outside. You throw a bubble to the receiver in the slot or the back coming out of the backfield, and it's a swing, it's a sweep, whatever you want to call it. You get some good blocking. And as we've seen, when Gray gets the ball in his hands, he's pretty dangerous. He's fun to watch. And who would have thought midway through here in the 2nd quarter, Tennessee would be up 7-3. You got to feel pretty good about that.
Axton Brooks kicking off. Kadarius Toney lets it bounce out the back of the end zone. Touchback to the 25 for the Gators. Quiet start for Kyle Pitts.
Well, that's the key. Slow him down. He was open right there. Ball obviously went to the outside to Toney. But they're going to double team him. They're going to grab him. They're going to pull him to the ground. They're going to punch him in the face. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Pitts does not beat him.
That will get you a penalty.
Legal or not legal. But listen,
Garrett, we don't even have to check with Gene. Punch to the face.
If you're the number 3 guy in the formation, you get lost. And I think defenders know that too. So you'll see a little bit more grabbing over the middle of the field.
Kyle Trask with Pierce with him in the backfield. Field goal opening drive. Pressure coming from Tennessee. Trask steps up, and it's incomplete. On the edge again. Here comes a flag. Tom Burrell. Getting tangled up with Gamble. Another terrific Florida tight end.
Well, he just used his body right there, and corner tries to make a play to run through him, and that's going to get called.
Pass interference. Defense number 4. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Spot foul because it's less than 15 yards. That is the first penalty on Tennessee.
And you said it. Dan Mullen has a treasure chest there at the tight end position. Obviously, Pitts, we know how good he is, but the more I was able to watch film on floor this week, Gamble, Zipper, these guys have speed, elite speed, size, and they can move them all over the place. So if you're a Florida fan, don't worry too much with Pitts gone after this season. You got some guys behind him that are going to make some plays next year. Trask
wants to take the deep shot, finds Toney again, right at the 50-yard line. First down, Florida. Banks makes the stop.
The one thing that really jumps off the film with Toney is his playmaking ability over the middle on these dig routes, these dagger routes from the slide. And as a smaller guy, you'd worry about him being a little bit more cautious with safeties, with linebackers. But over and over again, you see him getting vertical, going up, making plays, extending in the air.
Trask, wheel again. Davis has it near the 40, move the chains again.
Better job right there, running interference, but not getting the penalty. And all Trask is going to do, he's going to read the will linebacker. If he goes over top, you're going to throw it right now. The receiver, then you know you can throw a little bit more up the field and lead your running back.
Pressure up the middle, picked up. Trask, deep shot, looking for Grimes. He has it inside the 5. Waiting, it is incomplete. There's the official word, incomplete pass. Jackson and Grimes, and Theo Jackson wins the matchup.
How many times have we seen Grimes make these tremendous catches one-on-one, but Theo Jackson, that's why you continue to fight to the very end, and that ball just pops out, not able to control it through contact with the ground. Like I said, a rare one for Grimes. I mean, you turn on the highlight tape, and he really is that. He goes up and makes plays. You're like, why in the world is Kyle Trask one throwing that football? And then you're like, okay, I see why. Kid has unbelievable vertical.
Play clock winding down. Trask gets it off. Trask delivers on the slant inside the 30, inside the 25. Kyle Pitts makes the grab. Toe on the stop. But Trask to Pitts.
And it's a 4-by-1 formation, and you'll see the safety go to the middle of the field. And Trask knows I got him matched up against a corner on a slant route, one of his better routes that he runs. The easy pitch and catch.
Gain of 15. Pierce in the backfield. Trask dragging, finds Tony inside the 15. Tony turns the corner and takes a couple of volunteers with him inside the 5. Flowers makes the tackle.
Tony may rename the juke route to the Tony route, based on everything you've seen this year. And 2 times this game, he gets lined up in the slot. It's one-on-one with a linebacker or safety, and he just fakes like he's going to sit in zone and then makes a little bit move, and boom, there he goes.
On 1st and goal, complete, touchdown. Flowers takes it in. Gators back on top.
Well, that was fast. Right down the field. You got to feel, when you got an offense like this, you don't worry too much when you're down in a ball game. Just all the playmakers spreading the wealth. You saw Pitts get involved. Obviously, Kadarius Toney, and then Grimes on a screen ball to the outside.
McPherson for the PAT. So it's Trask to Tony to get it started, and then TD pass number 35 from Kyle Trask.
Is dealing. Let me look at this juke route right there. Make him look silly like you're playing some basketball. And the man just can't be covered. And then Grimes, give it to the big guy. Look at the blocking on the outside. It takes the lead.
Eight Central on CBS. With our producer Scott Brandwine, our director Andy Friedman, Carter Blackburn, Aaron Murray, Jenny Dell on the sideline. Florida didn't face 3rd down on that touchdown drive. 6 plays, 75 yards, but it ends with a Kyle Trask touchdown pass, number 35 of the year, which around Florida football puts you right in between Danny Werfel and Danny Werfel.
That's some great company. Danny Werfel, obviously one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Florida history, so this man has an opportunity to break that 39 record, maybe today, but most likely here in the near future. That's exciting stuff right there.
3 Florida Gator quarterbacks have won the Heisman Trophy, including Danny Werfel and Kyle Trask, potentially the 4th. Touchdown drive for Tennessee. Clock winding down again. A freshman center and a freshman quarterback. That's been issue early for Tennessee. Only 1 timeout left, but a terrific last drive from Harrison Bailey.
Well, look at the offensive line, giving their young quarterback plenty of time to get through his reads, and Gray's had a tremendous year catching the ball in the backfield, 22 receptions heading in, and then, hey, I can run the ball a little bit, Bailey says, and then just an easy throw, perfectly drawn up by Jim Chaney, get his back in space with a swing route, and then tremendous blocking on the perimeter from those receivers.
96-yard drive last time they had it. Give it to Chandler. Nothing doing, and Tennessee is in 3rd down after the stop from Campbell. Well, that's a noted discrepancy between the first 2 and that last drive at 96 yards. Harrison Bailey, first career start. A freshman from Marietta, Georgia. On 3rd and 5, Bailey incomplete, no flags. Elam locked up in coverage with Josh Palmer, so Tennessee will have to punt it away.
And that's what you hate, when you throw so many back shoulders, when receivers start anticipating the back shoulder. Josh Palmer knew the corner was on top of him. He pretty much stopped his go route. Bailey threw it down the field, and the message to all receivers is continue to run and let the ball slow you down. Do not stop running until that ball's in the air, and then you make a judgment. It hurts the defense because it gives them more time to either get a pass interference and less time for them to turn around. So just keep running and trust your quarterback.
2nd 3 and out. Brooks, fake, incomplete on the fake, off the hands of Holiday. After the 3 and out, Brooks had Holiday, who could not hang on the fake punt.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate because that was a beautifully designed play. Had the opportunity to get the first down. Nice little tight spiral from the punter, too. Great job. Delay. On the run. Perfectly thrown ball. I mean, sign him up for some quarterback tryouts for Tennessee.
Oh, and you can see the frustration because, I mean, Holiday on the hands, and now short field for the Gators and Florida, who has been so great at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half. And with a 10-7 lead, I mean, still 6:41 to go before the break, but to give Kyle Trask a short field, that's incomplete. Dangerous pass off the hands of Short. His ball there for a second.
Yeah, that's the issue with the fake punt. Obviously, you get it, which you should have gotten it. That's tremendous. You get the momentum on your side and hopefully continue the drive. But if not, you get one of the most explosive offenses in this conference, in the country. A short field after a tremendous drive, their last go at it. Risky by Pruitt. I like the call, honestly. It should have been executed. The player's got to make the play.
Pressure coming. Trask delivers. It's Pierce who has it. Volunteers rally to the football and drop Pierce for a loss, led by Henry To'o again.
Great pressure up front. And I just love the way this team is still playing right now. You think a team with 5 straight losses, you're playing the number 6 team in the country. You just didn't convert a fake punt, but these guys are just playing motivated ball here in this first half. It's really good to see that they're still believing in themselves and their coaching staff.
Now can the D get a stop? The Gators on the short field on 3rd and 10. Trask, time to throw. Everybody's covered, so Trask will go down. For just the 9th time this year, Kyle Trask is sacked, and the Tennessee defense rallies.
Well, what they're going to do is, once again, Tony's going to run a little option around to go, but this safety is going to fake like he's going to go cover 2, and then he's actually playing the robber position. And what a great job defensively. They've shown so much two-man, middle of the field's open. Trask is expecting Tony to be open, and just better defense, disguising, coming down in that robber coverage to take away that juke route.
So here comes McPherson. He has made 4 from 50+ this year. 53-yard attempt coming from Evan McPherson. And the kick is no good. The first miss from 50+ this year from Evan McPherson. So the fake punt doesn't work out for Tennessee, but the Volunteers sack, the stop, and the miss. So it's time to answer our Aflac trivia question. The reason we're showing you Chris Winkie. What current NFL Hall of Famer, a Heisman finalist in 1997? This is the Heisman Trophy debate that still rages in Tennessee. Randy Moss. Now, Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson will go into the Hall of Fame. And again, Chris Winkie, Heisman Trophy winner in 2000 with Florida State, quarterbacks coach, talking with Harrison Bailey. But yeah, they still debate and are sour about that 1997 Heisman around Tennessee. Bailey on the run on 1st and 10. Tackled from behind, and it's Cox who brings him down from behind after a good gain for Harrison Bailey.
Right now you're seeing a lot of man-to-man coverage from Florida, and then just no one on the quarterback. That's 2 runs here in the past few possessions where he's making them pay. And once again, it takes a great offensive line for you to get through your reads, and then 2, to understand, like, hey, I've gone to 1, 2, 3, 4, no one's there. Let me tuck it and get some positive yards for my offense.
Harrison Bailey wearing a piece of, stadium turf now after going head first. Gain of 6 on the scramble. Had a 15-yard run on the touchdown drive, and they were 96 yards. Bailey 2nd and 4. Airs it out and incomplete. Just missed Velus Jones.
And he had him there. That's when you go back in the film and you're like, man, if only I would have just put it on his body. And sometimes guys are just so wide open. And these inside fade routes from the slot, the number 2 receiver, you know, if they get on top of the nickel, take it downfield. But there's nothing wrong with putting it on his back shoulder there as well.
Maurer is in at quarterback. Now, had the pulled hammy in practice this week. Didn't expect to play. But Maurer is in for 3rd and 4. Maurer quick hitter to the outside for Gray. And Gray with a block from Palmer has a first down for Tennessee on the completion from Maurer to Gray.
Scratching my head a little bit. I don't know why you need to bring in your backup quarterback to throw a screen to the left, but maybe they promised him a pass in the game and just wanted to get it over with. I don't know. I really, that's interesting call, but listen, it worked. They got the first down and moved the chains. Let's keep it going.
Especially for a guy who was expected to be a scratch today. But Bailey is back in 1st and 10 with Gray. High snap. Complete on the edge. And it is Hyatt who is wrestled down in the open field. Nice open field tackle from Elam.
That's a great tackle by Elam on the outside. And that's what you want to do. You want to put your athletes on corners. Tremendous block on the outside from Jones. He's going to block the nickel, and you put your receiver or running back on a corner. You expect those guys to go earn a scholarship. Hey, you better make that guy miss in the open field. And Elam said, not so fast. Great open field tackle.
A lone Tennessee score, the first career touchdown pass for Harrison Bailey, a true freshman. Airs it out again on 2nd and 10. Dangerous and almost picked by Elam, who was locked up with Palmer. And you can see the reaction from Kaiir Elam.
And a little bit of uncertainty from Palmer there, too, after the play. He's raising his hands, and I don't know if it's miscommunication of Bailey thought it was supposed to be a post route. He ran somewhat more of a dagger route, a dig route in the middle of the field. And you know, that's the issue when you're playing a young quarterback who hasn't been the starter all year. There's going to be some miscommunication with timing, with plays, and they got lucky with that one right there. And this is an opportunity for them. You don't got to get the first down. Make this 4th and short. See if you go for it.
Pressure picked up and sacked. Bogle puts you in 4th down, and now you're back on the other side of the 50. And you're out of options at this point.
And that's Grantham's specialty. Get them in 3rd and long, and let's bring some out of odd formations.
Your first of the half.
That's Chris Bogle's 3rd sack of the year. This is a defense coming in, averaging just under 3 sacks per season, which is 2nd in the SEC right now.
Dan Mullen uses a timeout prior to the punt. Try and give his offense a few more seconds. Missed field goal on the short field. Last time the Gators had it, Trask bobbled and incomplete. Off the hands of Copeland.
Ball's there, got to make the catch for Copeland, and that's why you don't let it come into your body. Anytime you're going over the middle of the field, go snag it. Get your hands out there. Too many bad things happen when you let the ball as a receiver cross your eyes and either try to catch it off your shoulder pads or catch it behind you.
Trask turned the wrong way. Wright has it. Wright's dropped. Loose football. It is. They called him down. Volunteers have the football, but saying Wright is down before the football comes out.
And what a great read by Toe coming up and making the tackle. And yeah, definitely knee down right there. Good call.
It's still busted playing a huge tackle for loss, putting the Gators in 3rd and long. And now Tennessee has a chance to stop and get it back before the end of the half. Nearing 2 minutes, 1 timeout. Jeremy Pruitt had to use a couple early. So 3rd and 11. Trask delivers first down. Copeland has this one across the 40, and he is still rolling across the 45, and finally ridden out of bounds.
And it's the same concept they've been running. Corner with a flat, and all you're going to do is read the cornerback. Does he settle? in cover 2, then I'm going to throw the corner out. Great job, great eyes, kind of pumping and hesitating to the running back in the flat. Gets that cornerback to settle his feet for just a split second, and then you see that gap right there in the corner. Probably about the 5th time they've run that ball, that play here so far in this ball game.
That's a gain of 28, longest today for Florida. Trask feels the pressure. He will be sacked again. Sacked twice in this first half, and it's Tyler Barron who is more snaps today because of Kavon Bennett being dismissed this week.
And Derek Ansley, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, really excited to see some of these young guys get in there and get a little bit more PT, making the most of it with a sack right there.
Coming up, Adam, Rick, and BJ will have first half analysis and highlights from around the country on the Guy Report. Apparently Sesame Street leads to Neyland Stadium. 2nd and 16. Out of the timeout. That's Davis hurdling his way to near the 45. Burrell makes the stop. 3rd down. 1:25. 1 timeout for each.
And right now Tennessee's bringing out their nickel package. Few more DBs, and they're going to play a 3 safety look where they actually move Bryce Thompson to that middle safety. I mean, they love him roaming, they love him using his eyes, and he's going to be more like a robber, kind of roaming around and just reading Kyle Trask. And wherever he goes, that's where he's going to run to.
3rd down. Screen Grimes, 1st down, Gators. And keep it rolling inside the Tennessee 40.
I love the play design. If you're going to play this off coverage, it's a numbers game. You get Pitts on the corner, the next guy is at 3rd high safety. That's 15, 20 yards down the field.
So 3rd and 12, you get 17.
Timeout. Tennessee. Their 3rd and final of the half. Should be a 30-second timeout.
Last timeout for Tennessee. Gators lead it by 3. Driving. For Dan Mullen and the Gators, tighten the first half, and then you separate going into halftime.
And I think for Tennessee right now, I want to see more soft coverage. Continue to play a little bit soft. I think you almost concede a field goal. Say, listen, fine, we'll give up 3 points. We'll go down 13-7 at half. Maybe you make a mistake, but I don't know. I just would not want to give up a touchdown here before half, especially with Florida getting the ball there in the second half.
Got the missed field goal on the last drive. Trask, incomplete. Looking for Grimes again. Felt the pressure.
You got to give Tennessee some credit. They've done a great job up front, and this is one that, you know, Trask hits 9 out of 10 times. What we've seen so far this season, he's a lot more accurate with the football, and things just have not been clicking. But this is Florida's MO in the first half, the past 3 weeks, as you said. And I don't know, Dan Mullen must get some really good halftime speeches.
On 2nd down, that is complete to just outside the 30. Burrell on the stop, and Shorter makes the grab. So 3rd down again for Florida.
And this is Tony time. Who's going to guard Tony in the slot? 1-on-1. This is his specialty, 3rd and medium. Some kind of juke or drag route usually.
On 3rd and 3, Trask complete to the edge, and it's Kyle Pitts. So a quiet first half for Kyle Pitts, but 3rd and 3, Kyle to Kyle again.
And once again, 2-man, so inside leverage. So what do? Out breaking routes, and just an easy out route. Pitch and catch, and we talk about what Florida's done on 3rd and short situations. Get Tony matched up 1-on-1, but they've seen a lot of man-to-man coverage, a lot of 2-man. Like I alluded to, it's inside leverage, so these out-breaking routes are going to be open.
Gain of 15 on what's turning into a brilliant drive for the Gators. And now Trask to the end zone, and batted incomplete. Flag is down. Copeland, the intended receiver. Flowers in coverage, looks like he draws the flag.
pass interference, defense number 2. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball was placed at the 2-yard line and carries an automatic first down.
Listen, I'm not out there playing. I'm not playing defense for sure, but I don't think he needed the grab at that moment. You already have a great beat on the ball. It kind of sailed on Trask a little bit. Just go make a play and knock it down. No need to grab the right shoulder pad and cause the PI.
And it was number 1 rather than number 2, but first and goal, Florida. Tony juking in the backfield. Trask, Tony, touchdown, Florida. The Gators do it again at the end of the first half. What a brilliant drive. 10 plays, 80 yards in just over 2 minutes.
And just a tremendous play. He's going to go back and forth, and then boom, use his speed, get Trask on the move, and it's just too much for number 0 Thompson to handle, to get through all the trash in front of him, linebackers, tight end running a little bit of interference as well. Great play design.
Pearson on for the PAT. So for Kyle Trask, TD pass number 2 of the day. TD pass number 30 goes to Kadarius Toney, and the Gators back in control. Look familiar? Kyle Trask touchdown, still edging up Danny Werfel's single season record. It was fun. We talked to Kyle this week. You asked him, are you having fun with this? He said, oh yeah. I mean, and you can see with all of the weapons, I mean, it's a lot of fun to play quarterback in this Gator offense.
Yeah, him and Mac Jones for Alabama right now have to be, they're sleeping good at night, that's for sure. The play designs and the talent around them, sometimes it's just too easy. Just way too easy when you got Tony making all those moves right there to get open for a simple pitch and catch for a touchdown.
You had some weapons as well during your Georgia days.
A guy named A.J. Green wasn't too bad.
That was fun, wasn't it?
just throw it up. I mean, just anywhere near him, and he's going to go up there and kind of like what Grimes has been doing for Florida this year. Throw it up, let him make a play.
No timeouts for Tennessee. Can Harrison Bailey pull something off from the 25 at the end of the half? Chandler and
I still think 17-7. You had a freshman quarterback taking 96 yards down the field for a touchdown. Your defense has come up big throughout this first half. Now Tennessee has to figure out a way to come out in the third quarter and play a lot better than what they've done so far this season. So we talk about Dan Mullen with great halftime speeches. Jeremy Pruitt, it's your time to shine. Let's see what you got.
And Florida gets the ball to begin the second half as well. 17-7. That is the end of the first half. Florida on Tennessee. For Jenny's halftime interview with Coach Mullen, go to Twitter at SEC on CBS. And now let's go to Zucker in our New York studio.
All right, Mr. Carter Blackburn, thank you very much.
Third Saturday in September, the festive holiday year. Now Aaron and I are dressed a little more traditionally with Jenny Dell on the sideline, Aaron Murray, Carter Blackburn. All right, 17-7. The second halves have been very different for Florida and Tennessee this year.
Yeah, Tennessee struggled coming out of halftime, so hopefully Jeremy Pruitt got the guys, rallied the troops, got them excited because it's a ball game. It's 17-7. There's a chance for an upset here in the second half, so they just got to keep chipping away right now.
A Florida win. They're in the SEC championship game. A Tennessee loss, and it is 6 straight losses for the first time since 1988 when that volunteer team started 0-6. Florida deferred the opening kickoff so they could get it at the beginning of the second half. Touchback. The ball will be at the 25. 2 touchdown passes for Kyle Trask, accounting for the 2 Florida touchdowns. And how do you evaluate it so far, I mean, numbers-wise, between Florida?
Well, it's the rushing yards for both teams. Florida wants to be a little bit more balanced. They know they have to be, especially if they want to get to where they want to go. And for Tennessee, this is an offense that is built on running the football. With Gray, with those experienced offensive linemen, they got to get that going early on here in the second half to kind of take some pressure off their freshman quarterback.
So Florida scored a touchdown on its last possession of the first half. Trask and the Gators start at the 25. Pressure picked up. Trask complete across the 30-yard line into the hands of Grimes again. Let's check in with Jenny Dell.
Carter asked Coach Pruitt about his thoughts on this game so far, and he said it's pretty much how the whole season's gone. We play 90% of the time really good football. The other 10% of the time we just give to the other team. So he was a little frustrated on the way this team has played so far. But then I asked what he needs to do, especially in this third quarter. He said limit penalties and play smarter football. Guys, they are sticking with Harrison Bailey in the second half.
Thank you, Jenny. Trask into Pitt's hands again. Kyle to Kyle, and Pitts goes rolling. Burrell finally shoves him out.
Well, Pitts was a little bit quiet there in the first half, but you can't hold this guy back for too long. He's just in the tight end position right here. He's going to fake like he's going to run the over. One-on-one with the linebacker, and then just beautiful route. That's a great way to get him going early on here in the second half.
42 yards. Fake it to Pierce. And now Trask. Incomplete. Looking for Pitts again. A nice breakup by McCullough. All right, Tennessee fans, you might want to look away because we're going to show you the third quarter number, the second half number, and during the 5-game losing streak, it's been even worse.
And it's mostly been on the offensive side of the football, them not being able to come out in the second half and make those adjustments. And that's what separates good teams from great teams. Can you go in there and say, okay, this is what they're doing offensively, this is the other team's plan defensively, make those changes and go out there and execute. And Tennessee's just struggled with that.
Pitts in motion on second down. There's the toss. Copeland on the reverse. Blockers ahead. Copeland shaking his way inside the 10. First and goal, Florida.
And you know who has not struggled coming out of halftime has been the Florida Gators. It's their MO is we're going to kind of grind it out, get through the first half, figure out what's going on, and then Dan Mullen, he really, I don't know what he did at halftime, but these guys come out inspired in the second half.
And now Trask looking in zone again. Caught. Touchdown, Florida. Grimes has it on the third touchdown pass of the day from Kyle Trask.
And once again, almost too easy of a series there for Florida Gators and Kyle Trask. And almost Tim Tebow-esque, kind of faking like he's going to possibly run the quarterback draw, pulls back, and Copeland thought the ball was actually a 10 for him. He's like, hey, man, that was my touchdown. What's going on here? And you got to love when receivers get a little bit greedy and want the ball.
Who wants a touchdown pass next from Kyle Trask? McPherson's PAT makes it 24-7. So this game was 10-7 late first half. Mullins Gators touchdown at the end of the second quarter, and another one to begin the third. 37 TD passes and counting on the year for Kyle Trask.
So, Carter, the more I look at this, it looks like it actually is intended for Copeland, who's going to kind of sit right there in the soft spot, and his buddy Grimes like, yeah, man, I see an area right there. Maybe I'll go get this touchdown. And at the end of the day, a touchdown's a touchdown. Maybe his buddy will get one on the next possession.
Jones from the goal line. Brings it across the 20, across the 25, and shoved out there. Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, Carter, in 6 of the 7 games when Florida has won the coin toss and deferred, the Gators scored in the final seconds of the first half and then came back and scored on the opening possession of the second half. So I asked Trask about that, and he said it creates a lot of momentum. It gives us a chance for a 2-for-1 and really take the jump in the lead. Dan Mullen said it's all about being aware and understanding situational football and executing at crucial times. He told me how you're doing in the end of the half. The last 2 to 3 minutes is situational football. The first 4 minutes of the second half, there's huge situations there. So, guys, he said we spent a lot of time practicing that during this year.
And it really shows. We got a holding on the return on Tennessee, but I mean, it's showing up on the field, and it's showing up with 7-1, number 6 in the country.
Yeah, and right now for Tennessee, not obviously how you want to start back at your own 10-yard line, but don't abandon the run. I know you're down, but there's still a lot of ball game to go, and your strength is running the football. You got to get it going. You got to trust those guys up front to be able to move some bodies, get to the second level. Let's see if we can get Eric Gray going early.
Holding penalty, the difference between the 25 and the 10 from the spot of the foul. So Gray, well, the Gators are ready for Gray. It's Slayton who makes the stop. And Tennessee led this game 7-3, so it's 21 straight from Florida after trailing early, after the touchdown drive. Bailey, the 96-yard touchdown drive, and the first touchdown pass of his Tennessee career.
And they've actually made a change. Cooper May started the first half there at center, and in comes Carvin. Let's see if that makes an adjustment. Let's get this run game a little bit of a spark here in the second half.
Brandon Kennedy unavailable, snapping a streak of 20 consecutive starts at center for Tennessee. Nice open field tackle after the pass complete to Palmer. It's Trey Dean III. He had the end zone INT last year versus Tennessee to Dean.
And it almost seems like this third down is just so important for Tennessee. We talk about coming out slow in third quarters this season. We talk about Florida and how explosive they are coming out of halftime. You don't have good field position, so find your one-on-one matchup. They're going to be playing some man and see if you can get a completion.
On 3rd and 6, they're coming after Bailey, and they get him sacked at the 6. Miller leads the way. Brenton Cox Jr. in there as well.
And double-A pressure, 2 linebackers, and they both decide to blitz on this against that center position. They're really missing right now, Tennessee. Brandon Kennedy, their starting center, who has been tremendous. And right now, Florida is taking advantage of these backup centers with blitzes, with putting a nose on them to disrupt the run game. And that's really what, to me right now, has been hindering this offense.
3 and out, and Brooks has to punt it away. Tony lets it bounce, and now scoops it up, but they'll get it on the plus side of the 50. So Florida with 21 straight, a 24-7 lead, and they get it on the plus side of the 50. Another short field after the Gators get a 3 and out on D.
The best way to get your large 3-topping $10 taste.
The 3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks for the Florida Gators, and Kyle Trask is on track, the odds-on favorite to be number 4. And, you know, last year he actually struggled against Tennessee. That was his first career start. He turned the ball over 3 times versus the Vols, and no turnovers today. 3 TD passes so far, 21 straight points, and they start on the plus 50 for the second time in their last 4 drives. Trask over the middle. It's Tony, and To'o makes the stop.
A little bit of a slow start for Kyle Trask in this game. Feel himself out, and nice easy screen to Grimes for a touchdown. Get him on the. There it is. Tony's had a tremendous football game. Him in the slot, and then another touchdown to big number 8 Grimes, and 3 touchdowns, kind of easing his way into it. And I mean, he looks every part of a Heisman finalist right now.
Trask to Pitts, Kyle to Kyle. When we talked to those guys this week about, all right, how did you develop this special connection? It was second team. All of those reps before we were ever in the starting lineup for the Florida Gators, and now it's paying off.
Well, when you're the second team, guys, you can go out there and make mistakes, but who cares? Because the defense is supposed to win those battles in the scout team. So you start trying to figure out throws like, hey, where can I throw it to this big tight end that he can make a play? Can I fit it in between these windows? Can I throw it one-on-one in the corner? And it's paid off all that hard work they put in.
Trask on first down. That is a nice grab. That's Gamble. And with as much, deservedly so, Kyle Pitts' attention, Gamble's terrific.
Well, these are I won't even say 50-50 balls. It just, I don't think he's in bounds, and a little bit of a juggle there. We'll see if they get the snap off in time.
Carry it up. Replay official John Bible wants to have another look. Oh, all right. The Gators are trying to get it off, but we'll go to replay.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. The previous play is under further review.
And this looks a couple different ways like an incomplete pass.
Well, first off, he's going to bobble it. You'll see he does not clutch it clean. Ball starts to come out as that right toe's out. Ball's out right now. Double clutch it. So I was just about to give Gamble some love, too, because I've been impressed with him. 3 touchdowns on the season, 2 versus Vandy. Had a beautiful wheel route touchdown early on in the season, and he's a guy that I'm sure is just chomping at the bit. Like, man, I love Pitts. He's great for this team, but I'm ready to take over next year and be Pitts 2.0.
I see what you did there with the chomp.
Yeah, you like that?
So this is ruled a catch on the field. And Gene Steratore joins us. And Gene, what do you see there on what was ruled a catch?
You know, if Kenmore Gamble could have stuck the pass initially without the bobble, I think he'd be good. But with the bobble, then that back foot doesn't count. After possessing the ball initially, then the right toe is clearly out of bounds. I think they'll overturn to an incomplete pass.
Makes sense. And so that, I mean, John Bible clearly in the replay booth in coordination with Birmingham. I mean, the Gators are trying to get it off. You can understand why, because this looks like it'll be overturned.
And if I'm Tennessee, man, you got to find a way. Florida keeps coming up in these nub offenses formation, 0 by 3.
The receiver did not possess the ball before the pass is incomplete. It'll be second down at the 32-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 25 seconds.
And all they keep doing is running these corner routes. I mean, we're seeing it over and over and over again. Corner route, corner route, corner route. At some point, I know they've been loving to play this inside leverage for all these DBs, but maybe force them over the middle. Put a linebacker as kind of a thief player in the middle and just stop allowing them to beat you to the outside, because as we've seen, Kyle Trask, accurate, throws the ball on time. And if you're to give them some space, these receivers will go make some plays.
So after the completion overturned, 2nd and 10. Tony in motion. Trask going to bring it back the other way, and it's shorter. With Gamble blocking for him, who takes it to the 5 and gets you 3rd and short coming up for the Gators. Banks makes a stop for Tennessee.
And here, once again, they're going to get in this, what we like to call a 0 by 3 formation with a end. Really declares what the defense is in.
Trask going to keep it on 3rd and short. Stop short, about 2 yards. 4th down coming up. Taylor makes the stop. The offense staying on the field for now, and here comes Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, maybe hard cadence here. See if you're able to get a free 1st down, and great job staying home. And that's the one thing with Kyle Trask this season. He has used his legs a little bit more in these 3rd situations to get the 1st down. Not known as a runner, but definitely elevated his game. I'll try to get a hard cadence here, see if I get a free 5 on the 1st down.
4th and 2 from the Tennessee 24. And it's complete, knocked away, intended for Davis out of the backfield, and the Volunteers get the stop on 4th down. Alontae Taylor breaks it up, getting the 4th down stop.
I don't love the call. I mean, tremendous Tennessee, great job, but when you're up 24-7, the last thing you want to do is give a team any kind of momentum. But great job, Tennessee, man. This defense continues to step up and make a spot.
Big bounce back performance too from Kellen Mond.
They were horrendous last week offensively, so good to see him bounce back and get going a little bit for Jimbo.
Harrison Bailey trying to rally the Volunteers. It is Chandler who breaks. Chandler across the 40-yard line. So Ty Chandler, who had a slow start in this one. Steiner finally makes a stop.
Well, this is something they love to do. They bring the guard, they bring the tight end, wrap it around, and then the left side of the offensive line just buries everyone down, and then Gray just does the rest with his strength.
And now Bailey tipped over the middle, and Miller. I mean, that's what Tennessee has done so far in this game. When they started 2-0 and it made that 6-game winning streak, an 8-game winning streak, it was 0 turnovers. And they've turned the football over, they've lost, and that's why 5 straight. That's the one thing that Bailey has done well today.
He's taking care of the football. He's getting through his reads. When things aren't there, he's running it. I said he just needs some support around him with a run game themselves. Florida's giving them a light box to run it. The offensive line has not shown up and done their part today.
Bailey on 2nd. Pressured and sacked. Inside the 30-yard line, Zachary Carter. Bailey forcing 3rd and long.
Well, that was a coverage sack. I mean, no one was open there. He did everything he could. Pocket collapsed around him. He wasn't able to step up this time. You see it once again. They're trying to fake this screen on the outside and throw it deep, and it has not worked once. I think they're 0 for 3. And the only times it's worked, he's thrown a swing to his back or he run it. So I think it's time to stop running that play.
Draw on 3rd and 19. Chandler back to the 40 before Bernie makes the stop. But that sack and loss of 9 covered Gators, and that ends the promise of that Tennessee drop down stop. Bailey and the offense unable to do anything with it.
I just would have loved to see you take off a huge run. Your running back seems like he had some steam behind him, broke a few tackles, and then a couple passes back to back. I mean, like we said, you're not out of this football game. Don't kind of deviate away from your identity, which is a power running football team.
Brooks to Tony again. Kadarius Toney. It's out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it out, right around the 20-yard line. So Kyle Trask has touchdown passes so far, but the Gator defense is doing the job as well. Another sack on Bailey, reserving a 24-7. Take a look at the GMC game changer.
Kadarius Toney in the slot. You want to play 2-man? You want to match him up against a linebacker, a big guy? Good luck, my friends. He's just eating up the middle of the field this entire game. Has run this route multiple times, has beaten it, a couple dig routes, and then just an easy touchdown. Playing games with the backfield. You saw him go back, left, right, and then just the speed, beating the defense for the touchdown. I mean, we said at the beginning, there's so much focus on slowing down Pitts. If you want to leave him one-on-one in the slot, Dan Mullen will gladly take advantage of that.
A big weapon in the backfield next year. DeMarcus Bowman, 5-star from Lakeland, briefly went to Clemson. We'll have an excellent running back to add to the arsenal next year. Laquan Wright's in the backfield now. Wright takes it, tries to bounce. It's written down by Banks. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for a Papa John's update.
Cutter, here's some toppings for you. Illinois was up 14-0, but Iowa's answered with 21 straight. Kind of like season from 0-2 to 5-2 if they can win today. That was Spencer Petras to Amir Smith-Marseille. 21-14, third quarter. Back to you.
Adam, I was just going to say, it's like Iowa's season. Stole my line again, Adam. Trask, right, and there's Banks again. Banks playing well. Forward progress clearly stopped. Third down coming for the Gators. Tyler, true freshman, who again getting more run today because of the dismissal of Kavon Bell this week.
Well, Pruitt's, they're doing what Pruitt wanted to do, stop the run. And for Florida, you know, I'm a little bit concerned going forward. I mean, the team that, if they win tonight, they're going to most likely face Alabama. Alabama is a very balanced defense. Najee Harris, one of the best backs in the country. They can do both. I think if Florida wants to get where they want to get, which is the playoffs, they got to figure out this run game. These guys up front have to do a better job.
On 3rd and 9, Trask, deep shot and incomplete. Overshooting Grimes, so a 3-and-out. Gators stopped on 4th down deep in Tennessee territory last time they had it, and now a 3-and-out for Trask and the Gators.
I think you got to give a decent grade. You know, I know we're a little bit more through the third quarter here, but this defense for Tennessee has really stepped up to the challenge. It's the offense's turn. Going to get decent field position most likely after this punt. You got to do your defense off the field, put some points on the board. And I think, like I said, they just start off the last drive, great run, powerful run, and then they try to get a little bit too cute with some plays that didn't work in the past.
Fenn, do they get it off? Apparently so. Gray backing up, Colts for the fair catch, makes the grab right around the 25-yard line. Fenn was able to get it off, and a nice punt from Fenn. For the best UEFA Champions League coverage, start your match days at 2 Eastern with UEFA Champions League Today, followed by Nico Cantor and the Galazzo Show at 3 on CBS Sports Network and CBS All Access. For Blackburn, Aaron Murray, Jenny Dell, our socially distant booth crew, Alan Thrifley stats, John Tobias spotting from Rocky Top. High snap, handled, Gray shaking his way for a gain of 9. With 7-3 Tennessee early in the second quarter. Gators have taken command since. Now can Harrison Bailey rally the Volunteers in the second half? The third quarters, which have been devastating for Tennessee during the 5-game losing streak. Give it to Gray again. Has a first down. On first down, Steiner makes a stop.
Well, I love these two first. Look at Florida defensively. They're playing a shell defense, 2 safeties, 6 men in the box. You got 6 offensive men, 5 plus the tight end. Against 6 defenders, you got to just run the football. And then Gray, when he has opportunity to make a guy miss, a safety coming in the box late, that's his job. Like we said earlier, go earn your scholarship at that point. Make a guy miss, run him over, and get some yards.
Now we're back in at quarterback on second down. This will be his second snap. Howard's going to take it. Florida was ready. Montrell Miller leads the Gators for the stop, 4th and 3rd down. And now back to Bailey. And JT Shrout, who was expected to get some snaps at quarterback today, torn labrum this week in practice. Howard pulled the hammy, but they've given him a couple snaps. Haven't seen Garantano, who's coming back from contact tracing quarantine. Walk through Thursday, practice Friday. That all played into Harrison Bailey starting at quarterback. Bailey to Gray. Shaking in the open field again, but Gray stopped short of the first down. Down to 4th down.
You got to punt the ball here. You know, maybe they go for it. Maybe they're like, man, listen, we're 5 straight losses. We got to do something. But at this point, I would punt it. Hope you get them pinned inside the 10-yard and your defense continue to play well. But you know, this is late in the season, a little bit desperation mode. Looks like they're going to go a little bit wildcat. Give it to your best player and see if he can get you a couple yards.
It's Gray who will take the back snap. Bailey split out wide. And prior to the snap, timeout Florida.
Timeout Florida. The first of the half.
So the Gators use a timeout. Will Tennessee still go for it on 4th down?
Wow.
Which college sports programs are being hit the hardest by COVID? You'll be surprised by what 60 Minutes found out tomorrow on CBS. Well, time is ticking away for the Tennessee Volunteers. Out of the timeout by Florida. Tennessee going for it on 4th down. Bailey will take the snap. Gray's with him in the backfield. Bailey to throw on 4th. Complete. Tennessee converts it. And inside the Florida 35-yard line, Josh Palmer. Bailey to Palmer to convert on 4th down.
And that was one confident throw from perfect spot. It's a deep hitch route. It's a timing route versus man. You want to put it on that outside. Hit that back step, 1, 2, 3, and let it rip. That's probably one of the most confident throws I've seen this young kid make this whole ball game. That was good to see right there.
It's Chandler back in at running back. Bailey trying to rally the Volunteers in the second half. Quick hitter. Stiff arm from Palmer. Playing with a little juice right now.
Well, they got playmakers. I mean, when you watch Tennessee, listen, I like the receiving crew. You know, they got speed. They got guys that can make plays. They got an offensive line. They got a running back. They've just needed a guy back there, a gunslinger, someone who can be a little bit more consistent. And, you know, the keys to the car not fully given to Bailey, obviously his first start, but I think he's gaining more confidence and gains some more confidence in him as well during this game.
Bailey on 2nd and 7. Winds up, airs it out, end zone incomplete, intended for Jones. So there wasn't a whole lot of tape to watch on Bailey, but you're getting a pretty good evaluation today.
Well, most of the tape we've seen on Bailey is I guess you could call it somewhat mop-up duty late in the game. Teams are playing more prevent defense. He was checking the ball down the majority of the time, and it's one against practice, against a defense you know. It's another thing to go against a defense that likes to mix it up, which Grantham loves to do. And like I said, he's made some good throws. I would like to see him put some more balls on the body of these receivers. It's the second time he's overthrown an inside fade route. You know, when the defense is running hard and their backs are to you, throw it up, and a lot of times good things happen.
Heavy pressure coming on 3rd and 7. Bailey forced to get rid of it and throw it to the sideline, and it's 4th down. It was Trey Dean the third coming from depth. A slow start for Harrison Bailey. I mean, just 21 yards, so kind of in that check down mode. But on the first touchdown pass.
Interesting right now, the referee crew is kind of having a chat. Was he in the pocket there when he threw that one away? There was no intended receiver, so we may get a call for grounding. I think they're trying to figure out exactly where he was in the pocket. The ball left his hand.
Yep. Now the flag.
Intentional grounding, offense number 15. The penalty is the loss of down at the spot of the foul, 4th down.
And that hurts because that may put you out of field goal range now.
So, Gene, what's this like when the officials get together to discuss this? What are they discussing?
Well, it's a collective group on the play, too, because you have officials downfield that need to let the referee know that there's no receiver in the area. The referee's leaning on the center judge to let him know the quarterback is in the pocket, and then naturally the referee would know if the quarterback's under pressure. So the collaborative effort by the crew there is a great job, and they come up with the correct ruling as well.
Yeah, great teamwork right there. Everyone came in, did their part, and I think made the correct call. You saw the ball was snapped on the hash. He threw it away from the hash.
You talking about our teamwork with Gene or
both? Both. Yeah,
absolutely,
everyone, all around.
So instead of the field goal attempt, now Tennessee has to punt it away, and it will back up to around the 12. But that's very consequential for the Tennessee drive. They have to punt it away. Give it to Florida with a 24-7 lead. Let's check in with Jenny Dell.
Well, Carter, we all know the power of the Trask-Pitts duo out there. Absence, Florida really stepped up. They scored 101 total points when Pitts was out for those 2 games. So I asked Kyle Trask about his teammates who stepped up when Pitts was out. And he said, I've always known about all the weapons that we have on this team. There's so many mismatches to defenses from top to bottom. And Coach Mullen said, we have so many talented players. Problem is, Pitts is probably the best player in college football. It overshadows the other guys. I don't know if I'd call that a problem, guys.
Well, it begs the question, why isn't Kyle Pitts getting more Heisman chatter? But we'll get into that. Trask, and it's dropped into the hands of Jacob Copeland, but incomplete.
Yeah, listen, the Heisman is supposed to be the best player in the country, but a lot of times it's a quarterback award as of late. Another drop by Copeland here, and you look at some quarterbacks and the way they're playing, and 2 of them are in the SEC right now. I think the top 2 guys heading into the end of the season, and listen, they're going to have a chance to play each other, and most likely winner of that game is also going to win the Heisman.
Heavy pressure coming. Trask looking for Pitts, and it's incomplete. Tangled up, Thompson and Pitts. So here's your top 4 Heisman picks, and shockingly, they're all quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Zach Wilson kid for BYU, he's pretty special. He's fun to watch. They have a big game today, and obviously Trevor is probably the best player, and I would say probably the best quarterback in all of college football. But it goes to who's having the best season, and those 2 guys, Kyle Trask and Mac Jones, it's just a different level right now. The accuracy, they've played more games. It's been fun to watch these 2 kind of do it out here for Alabama and Florida.
Well, of late, the Tennessee defense is making it tough on Trask, Pitts, Toney, and company. 3rd and 10. Trask tipped and incomplete. Pressure caused him to get rid of it. Toney couldn't hang on. DeAndre Johnson putting the pressure on Kyle Trask, and it is a 3 and out for the
sold out, and this is a play that they usually make. Same route that Toney has run over and over in this game, and just off his hands there, would have probably had the opportunity not only convert it, but he makes one guy miss. He might have had an 88-yard touchdown right there. But, I mean, Carter, you said it. This defense continues to show up and show up. Hopefully the offense just puts some points on the board. I mean, we've still got plenty of time.
And punts it away. Fair catch called for right around the 44-yard line. So that's where Tennessee will take over again. since the Gators scored 24-7. The fourth down stop, 3 and out, 3 and out. So, I mean, and as talked, and Tennessee fans have heard this over and over again, but can you stay in a game in the second half and not get blown out in the third quarter? Well,
they're staying in it. Defense is doing a good job. And you know, I want to see some more of these swing routes, these bubbles. You know, we saw it a little bit there in the first half. Had a touchdown. It's an extended run. It's an easy throw for your quarterback. See if they get to it all this drive.
That's Hyatt in motion. Bailey to Hyatt. Open field tackle made by freshman from South Carolina who had the 38-yard touchdown catch versus Alabama.
Yeah, 7.8 yards per catch this year for the young freshman, and he's someone you want to get involved in the game because he's a highlight reel. He's a playmaker. He has the speed to take the top off of defense. So you put him in the slot and run some of those fades that they've missed early on with Jones. I guarantee you throw some of those balls to him, he's going to come under and make the catch.
Bailey. Hyatt again.
And there's that bubble we talked about. I mean, that's an easy completion, and you get it to one of your best athletes in space, and all you need is some good blocking on the outside. Easy pitch and catch. You throw it 1 foot in front of the numbers, and you get to a third and manageable.
And Tennessee hurries up for third and short. Bailey takes it. Gray pushing his QB. Bailey stretching, and he appears to have enough. First down, and indeed he does.
So we wanted to run a QB sneak, and all of a sudden you get a running back's helmet ready in your back, and God, a couple bruises in my back. I had to start wearing a back plate because he just lowered his head and just drive forward. And as we all know, Todd's about 240.
Yeah, Gurley's put some bruises on a lot of folks. All right, we'll see if Tennessee maybe one more play here in the third. It's 24-7 Florida, but Tennessee has life in the second half. They will head to the fourth. 6th ranked Florida 24, Tennessee 7. That is the end of the third quarter. We'll return to Knoxville after this message and a word from your. Some answers on defense for Kyle Trask and the Florida Gators as we head to the fourth. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Jersey Mike's Subs. Harris trying to rally Tennessee in the fourth. In his first career
14 of 20, 111, a touchdown. He hasn't been asked to do a lot, but what he has been doing is he's been efficient. He's gone down to his check down. Big third down conversion or fourth down conversion.
On 1st and 10, fake it to Gray. End around. It's Jones with a blocker ahead. Jones snuffed out pretty well by Florida, and Dean leads away.
Yeah, Jaden Hill, actually number 23, did a great job staying home, not allowing to force him inside. You're going to see right there, I'm going to keep outside leverage, force everything in, then making the tackle, and letting Dean come in and finish him off.
Gray, the sophomore from Memphis, a running back next to Bailey. Gators showing pressure on 2nd and 6. And they sack Bailey again. They throw it and go, yeah, he sure did. Well, the pressure from Bernie, we just went through
the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. There's no grounding. Number 3 was in the area.
Well, we just went through this grounding discussion with Gene about how we get together. But
well, Eric Gray was in the facility, so.
The previous plays under further review.
Knee was down though, so this looks like it is going to be your original call. You were correct, Carter. A sack when they go back and look at it.
That helped me grade out on film?
Yeah, 10 times better.
Good.
You're flowing around 70%. That jumps you up to around the mid-80s, I'd say.
Well, while this is under review, and again, we'll take a look whether this is a sack.
Yeah, may want to block that guy, but knee clearly down, ball still in hand, and I mean, there ain't much you can do as a quarterback. Guys right in your face, and you're just trying to get rid of it as quickly as you can.
And here comes a call.
After further review, the quarterback was down at the 59-yard line before making the pass. It'll be 3rd down.
And give credit to John Bible, replay official, who's also a terrific baseball official and an attorney for a...
I see. I didn't get that bio. You must have gotten some extra paperwork about our replay officials.
We both live in Austin.
Okay. See, is he your attorney?
Oh, well, thankfully I haven't needed one. So it's a sack. 3rd and 14. You see the clock rolling. Incomplete. A little miscommunication there. The pressure didn't help, but incomplete intended for Johnson. And 4th and 14, and no choice but the punt here.
Yeah, and Grantham just decided to bring the all-out cover 0 blitz, and we call this the pipe blitz. One down there, one down there. And then the safety's going to come right down the middle.
Well, you can just feel the Tennessee volunteers and the fans wanting to get some hope here in the 4th, but instead Brooks punts it away. Tony calls for the fair catch, has it inside the 15. So Florida 13-42 away from the SEC East title. 2 drives for Florida. First time this season, back-to-back 3-and-outs. Only 1 yard of offense on the last 2 drives for Kyle Trask and the Florida offense. 50-year senior from Manville, Texas, where his high school coach Kirk Martin built a powerhouse. Probably familiar with the story now, but Kyle Trask didn't start. Garrett King was the star of that football team. Didn't start since his freshman year until last year against the Vols. Trask on the roll. Soft toss beautifully, Kyle Pitts. Big hit from Burrell because of it, but a soft toss from Kyle to Kyle.
Easy floater over the defender, and that's one thing that Kyle Trask does well. I mean, listen, he doesn't have the biggest, strongest arm in the world, but he beats you with anticipation, with touch, with throwing a very catchable football, and just plays like that. Just being a playmaker, understanding where to put the football to allow his tight end to make the catch.
Complete again. Back-to-back completions. Henderson has it to near the 40. Let's check with Jenny.
Well, Tennessee corner Thompson has been dealing with a lingering injury coming into this game. I saw him hobbling around, pointing at his right leg right before the half of this game. He seems to be getting worse. Guys, he's even having trouble walking on the sideline, but he's out there in this play right now, so just keep an eye on him.
Excellent. Thank you, Jenny. And this plays a rover position most of the time for Tennessee. Missed tackle. That allows Grimes to across the 50.
And they've been a little bit of the bread and butter so far. It's this backside screen route. Get the offensive lineman, get the big uglies out front, block, and you see. And then we just continue to talk about these athletes for Florida. These guys, you give them the ball in space, and they're able to get 5, 10, 15 yards a pop.
Aubrey Solomon is down for Tennessee, the senior nose tackle, Michigan transfer. So with 3 plays on this drive for Florida, 3 first downs after the back-to-back 3-and-outs. Pierce is in the backfield with Trask. Trask over the middle, complete. Pitts has it. First down, Florida. Let's check in with Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, Carter, a game that was finalized midweek. Ever meeting of 9-0 non-Power 5 teams, and Tyler Algier putting BYU on top on the teal ahead of Coastal Carolina, 7-6 there. Now back to our leading astronomer.
Oh, well, I don't know about leading, but a credit to director Andy Friedman there. Pitts, oh, what a grab. What a great grab by Kyle Pitts going up to get it.
I mean, you got to be kidding me. This guy's a tight end running one-on-one back shoulders down the field. And, you know, the ball placement from Trask is phenomenal, but this catch has NFL scouts absolutely drooling after him. And this is why I think the kid could be easily NFL draft. I mean, you look at the game and where it's going with tight ends, Travis Kelce and some of these other, he is that and maybe even a little bit more faster and more athletic as well.
And now Trask, nowhere to go with it. So it's to the back of the end zone, touchdown, Florida. This time Copeland holds it in. That's number 4 of the game for Kyle Trask.
Well, Copeland, we talked about earlier, Copeland was a little mad at his buddy's grind. So we told him he'd get one later on in the game, and you know, great protection up front. And it's just scramble drill. Someone go deep, someone go short. And Copeland did a great job getting in the back of the zone, keeping his feet in, having the awareness to know where he is. And then a beautiful thrown ball there by
McPherson. Copeland's second touchdown of the year. Line drive PAT is good. It started with that remarkable grab by Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, when you got a tight end that can win one-on-one and run some back shoulder fades against corners with his size, I'm taking it all day long. I mean, look at that catch. And then Copeland, scramble drill, find him in the back of the end zone. Another touchdown for Kyle Trask.
Here's that last drive. It was a 6-play touchdown drive. The first 5 plays were first downs, and the 6th a touchdown. That doesn't get much better than that. That's a drive. From the end zone, Jones is bringing it out. Flag is down.
Yeah, pushing the back here. I mean, the second time we've seen a penalty on Tennessee on a kickoff return, pinning them back inside their own 20.
During the return, blocking the back, receiving team, number 24. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Tonight, 8 Eastern, game 2 of our SEC on CBS. Under the lights in Baton Rouge, where quarterback Mac Jones and number 1 Alabama look to avenge last year's loss to LSU. Tonight, the SEC is on CBS.
It's good to see a bunch of SEC teams right there inside the top 10. A&M big win. Georgia game postponed versus Vanderbilt. And we got a new quarterback. JT Stroud is in the game.
And this is the biggest surprise of the day for Tennessee. Stroud will hand off. I say biggest surprise because we were told there was a torn labrum in practice this week for JT Stroud.
Right, left labrum.
And we wouldn't see it. Well,
must have been the left, I guess. I mean, listen, I've liked what I've seen from Bailey in his first start in this game. I mean, was he tremendous? No, but he was efficient. He made some throws. And, I mean, listen, if he's going to be the future of this team, the more reps he can get, I think the better. So, I don't know. I would have kept him in there, I would say, football game.
On 2nd and 9, it's complete. And it's Chandler. Chandler takes it across the 20-yard line to the 24 before Steiner makes the stop. So, Stroud, the sophomore, a 3rd volunteer to take a snap at quarterback today. None of them Jared Garantano.
And this is what I worry about a little bit too with Tennessee. You see it all year. You know, the mixing up of quarterbacks. You come in, you play a couple quarters, you play 3 quarters, and the next guy gets in there. I just feel as a quarterback, you need to play an entire football game. You got to go out there and make plays, make mistakes, go back, watch the film, and make the corrections.
Gray has it. Gray across the 25. Gray to near the 30. So this is trending towards a 6th straight loss for the Tennessee Volunteers. And yes, there was a 6-game winning streak turned into 8 with a 2-0 start. This team was ranked as high as number 14. But, I mean, everyone in SEC country and major college football, if you lose 6 straight games, then there's pressure on the coach.
Yep.
Now, Phil Fulmer, athletic director, the man who led Tennessee to the 1998 national championship, did his best on bowl calls this week to support Jeremy Pruitt and drew the comparison to Johnny Major's first 3 years, but that's just a reality. When you lose 6 straight and the rivalry games are all going to your opponents.
Yeah, we talked about the gap really isn't closing, and listen, it's a little chilly here, and freeze warning may be coming soon here in Rocky Top. So you gotta make the games that are these type of games, rivalry games. You gotta make them a little bit more competitive. So it's been rocky here, and that gap. As Jeremy Pruitt thinks it's closing, you really don't see it on the film, and I don't think it's because of lack of talent. I think they got talent on both sides of the football.
That is caught, flag down, and clearly the play is over as it's caught by Tillman, but he was down as soon as he caught it from Shrout. And there is Phil Fulmer, now Tennessee athletic director, and again the man who hired Jeremy Pruitt, and doing his best this week to quell that talk, but it's a reality of 6 straight losses.
Holding, defense number 3. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Carries an automatic first down.
Syracuse on that list as well, but yeah, I mean it's pretty amazing to think 2-0 and number 14 in the country.
Well, it doesn't help when you look across the field, and Dan Mullen is in his 3rd year as well, and you see the success that Florida's had. And Dan Mullen inherited, I would say, a better football team 3 years ago, but still, I mean, he's taken that good football team into a team that right now is going to clinch the East here in 8 minutes, and Tennessee's about to have their 6th loss of the season. So I think that's what also upset Tennessee fans. And then you look at some of the first-year coaches in this league. Pittman's doing a great job at Arkansas, Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri.
Shrout incomplete. It's 6 straight, all by double digits as well. If this one holds up, let's check in with Jenny.
Well, there is a chill in the air. It's breezy down here. The fans are thinning out. You're talking about Tennessee getting this program going. Well, offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, when I asked him about the hype men of this team, who are the leaders, he said Cade May, Trey Smith, Eric Gray. They get people fired up, but we don't have many fire-breathing dragons jumping over the goalposts. So, guys, I definitely get that feeling from this sideline. It's quiet.
All right, that's worth a repeat from Jim Chaney in one of the great calls we've had with coaches in a long time. And it's always enjoyable to visit with Jim Chaney. But yeah, no fire-breathing dragons who jump over the goalpost. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining conversation with Coach Chaney, and this offseason has really hurt this team in the fact that they got a bunch of stud receivers that just need reps within the offense. They got some quarterbacks with potential that also need more reps. I mean, they were having scrimmages on Sunday with these receivers and quarterbacks trying to get, play catch up a little bit. And you can't do it within the season as effective as you want. It takes a full off season.
Route, deep shot, end zone, incomplete, just overshooting Hyatt. Cox supplies the pressure, but a flag is down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yeah, it's a little unnecessary right there by Cox, and going to protect the quarterbacks, and I'm all for it, Carter.
That was an easy call, just didn't pull up after the ball was clearly out. So with that 15-yard penalty, Tennessee to the Florida 30. 2 first down by penalty on this drive. Gray spinning, shoved back by Vontrell Miller and company. Tomorrow, Dolly Parton shares songs and stories of the season and a Holly Dolly Christmas tomorrow on CBS, or watch with the family anytime on demand. Dolly Parton, who is as close to sainthood in East Tennessee as you possibly could get. One of the great Americans, Dolly Parton. Holly Dolly Christmas. Chandler's in the backfield now with JT Shrout. Chandler, good block on the left side. Diabate makes the stop. Chandler, first down Tennessee inside the 20. Now the game's 31-6. Tennessee is executing better at this point?
Yeah, a little bit softer defense from Florida. And listen, I'm going to give some love to defensively. These guys have been kind of thrown around a little bit. Obviously, we saw what happened on the sideline last week during the Kentucky game between Coach Mullen and Grantham, but they are getting better. They are. And it may have taken 8 games to do it, but listen, better late than never. And if you can get over the next 2 weeks, I know Tennessee, as of right now, is not some dangerous offense. They're not Alabama, but still, it's a confidence builder to know that you can come in on the road and play this effective. You build on that, you take it, you learn from it still, and they said they still got some time as of right now before they got to play Alabama in a couple weeks.
Assuming Alabama is your champion in the West, but I mean that's been one of the biggest discussions. How does Florida defensively stack up against Alabama and the top 4 teams right now? Takes it inside the 10. First and goal, Tennessee. Pierce on the stop. Pierre on the stop.
Well, I think they stack up just fine. I really do. Their offense will keep them in games at the end of the day. They're good enough to score points to keep up. It's just a matter of when their defense does face in Alabama, can they slow them down enough? Can they keep the game in the 30s or low 40s? And as we watch Alabama, I mean, NFL teams could maybe struggle against Alabama in that speed and how well Mac Jones is playing. I'm not saying they'd score 40 points on NFL teams, but they can move the football. And this is an elite team, and Sarkisian is calling incredible games at the moment as well.
Trout on first and goal gets a tie. Chandler, and he is in. With a nod to John Ward, touchdown.
That's a great effort there. Rights multiple times and ran through about 4 or 5 tacklers on his way to the. The one thing you could say about this Tennessee team, 5 straight losses, look like they're going on 6, but every time you watch the film, they're down the 4th quarter. Looks like the game's out of control. They continue to fight to the very end, and we'll see if they get a 2-point conversion.
Going for 2. So the TD drives have been 96 yards and 94 yards for Tennessee. Very different circumstances, but Shroud and the Volunteers going for 2. Jones in motion. Back shoulder, batted away, incomplete. Wilson knocks away. The 2-point attempt, no good. But the Volunteers in the end zone. Florida 5:33 away from a trip to Atlanta. To 92, the first 2 were Legion Field. I mean, this is trending towards a terrific matchup again between Florida and Alabama.
Yeah, I just think that score, you could probably double it, and that's what the score of this football game between these 2 teams is going to be. I'm seeing, mid-40s for both teams, and Alabama's defense has really improved since that Ole Miss game. I mean, absolutely tremendous. So maybe they find a way to slow down Kyle Trask.
All right, well, Davis gets. So for the SEC championship, again, the first 3, 92, 93, 94, and then
number 99 for Tennessee has changed back.
The only 4 losses in the SEC championship were versus the Florida Gators. So Dan Mullen, I mean, that was the question, was how well would Florida, I mean, in this rivalry on the road, potential trap game against Tennessee, how well would they handle business knowing that a win, and you're the SEC East title and playing the SEC championship, and that's exactly what Dan Mullen's team has done today.
I don't think he was too worried.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, listen. There was too much on the line tonight for these guys to sleepwalk into this game. And it's not like, obviously you got to win the East. That's accomplished tonight here and hopefully in 5 minutes. And, Kyle Trask continues to be in the Heisman talk, and then you beat a rival on the road. I mean, those are all things that these kids can get up for.
Trask to Pierce. The 50 to the 45-yard line. So
I would still love to see this offense. If they're going to have a chance to take down Alabama, they got to find a run game. And the defense has to continue to progress the way it's progressed since pretty much the second half of Kentucky last week. And if they can continue to get better on defense, they'll have a shot. And I still think you can't go into a game versus Alabama thinking you're going to throw the ball 40, 50 times. You got to establish a run game. And That's just not been their MO this season.
So at this point, the bigger concern for the Gators is the run game rather than the run defense? Okay.
I would say the run game.
Trask, 2nd and 12. Soft toss. Wow. I mean, Tony makes the grab. That's another first down, Florida. And, I mean, it is tough to slow down this Gators offense when they're hitting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that have to worry about and cover, and you can't double team everyone. And the thing when you watch Kyle Trask is pre-snap, he knows what you're going to do. He knows where the double teams are going to be. Are you doubling Tony? Are you doubling Pitts? And if you are, then I got 2 or 3 other guys that can go out there and make plays as well. And the key is when you play a quarterback like that, you got to mix it up post-snap. You got to show him one thing, bring another, make him play quarterback after the snap.
Pierce popped on the edge by Burrell. Now, all right, you're 4-0. The game's 31-13. All the starters are still in for Florida.
Yeah, listen, we haven't seen Emory play at all this game.
No.
Their backup quarterback, who has been a guy who has been able to run. Obviously, they have a big package for him when he comes in there and throws it every now and then, but he gives them a little spark when they aren't running the football. So I'm kind of surprised that we have not seen him in at all during this game.
Dan Mullen really pleased with the development of Emory Jones. I mean, he's averaging 7 yards a rusher, but he is terrific as a passer as well. On 2nd and 6, Pierce. And Johnson there on the stop.
Timeout, Tennessee.
Tennessee uses a timeout. Another volunteer slow getting up, coming out of the pile. So 3:25 away from an SEC East title for the Florida Gators. Coming up after our game, Adam, Rick, and BJ will have the day's best highlights on the college football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage. I think we can nominate the Kyle Pitts grab here in the 4th quarter. That was
special.
I mean, when Jeremy Pruitt has been doing this a long time, says I think he's the best tight end I've ever seen in the SEC. That's a heck of a compliment.
False start. Offense number 1. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, it's not all been perfect, especially here in the 4th, but there were some moments where it was pretty close to perfect for the Florida offense. Like that last drive, 5 first downs and a touchdown pass on a 6-play drive. That's just about perfect. Now, we asked Kyle Pitts about his recruitment. He said, yeah, it was kind of weird. He committed to Coach McElwain, and then Dan Mullen took over. Pierce dropped in the backfield. So, I mean, for Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask, I mean, Pitts was a big recruit. Trask wasn't a huge recruit, but it was an interesting journey for the 2 of them.
Tennessee.
Timeout, Tennessee. 3:21 to go.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, interesting journey that's ended in one of them having the chance to be a Heisman winner, and another one a potential top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So it's worked out well.
Melissa bundled up here in chilly Knoxville. I think Trask, I mean, hard to say quietly, but I mean, Trask, 4 more touchdown passes, over 400 yards passing. Another terrific game.
Yeah, 35 to 49, and may not have been the sexiest of games, but he got it done, and he's just a tremendous job of giving his guys the ball in space, the accuracy, the movement in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, locating the receiver in the back of the end zone, and I give him a lot of credit, but I tell you, this has been one of Dan Mullen's best performances as a play caller and coach. Because you look at Dan Mullen and his history of quarterbacks, and most of them have been a little bit more mobile. Right. And I think that's the kind of guy he likes. So,
back to Alex Smith.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, Tim Tebow. I mean, not all of them, but a good majority of them are a little bit more mobile. And the way he's tailored this offense to fit Trask has been, like I said, I think it's one of his best performances coaching.
On 4th down, pooch punt from Trask. So 4 touchdown passes and a nice pooch punt. Copeland downs it inside the 5. I mean, that's...
Add that into the Heisman talk.
That goes on your Heisman resume reel right there, Kyle Trask. Very well executed pooch.
Mac better pooch one this weekend.
You got to keep
He
up.
better pooch one tonight, Mac, because, you know, Kyle Trask has shown that he can do a little bit of everything right now. I mean, put it inside the 5-yard line.
Oof. I mean, a touchdown pass is the perfect ending to the drive. But yeah, when it goes back to, are you having fun with all of it? He says, oh yeah, we're having a lot of fun. He stays off social media.
Smart man.
He doesn't really care about the hype. Stroud still quarterbacking Tennessee. Second drive, he led the 94-yard touchdown drive. Gators playing soft defense right now and just trying to get out of Knoxville. In the 50th meeting, it'll be 15 of 16 years, Florida over Tennessee.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, just continue to take those passes. Just understand that Florida is going to give you those, and they're hoping that you try to get greedy along the way, but just check the ball down, find your back.
Stroud pumps, takes off, slides again right around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he said, I mean, we brought it up. It's like, hey, you've been reading the clippings. You know you're number one in the Heisman talk right now. And he's like, nope. What, you want to talk about Tennessee, though? They're like, all right, we'll move on from the Heisman talk.
Aaron, I don't think you're old enough to talk about the clippings, right? I mean,
it's true. We just go on our iPads and just swipe away.
Right. You're scrolling. You haven't been scrolling all of the Heisman talk, right?
We're not like cutting out our clippings anymore, posting it in our dorm room. I mean, that was what, the early 2000s.
On your cork board.
Yeah.
Route that is complete. Brandon Johnson on the edge. All right, well, Florida takes care of business. I'm going to guess you think Alabama is taking care of business tonight.
Yeah, LSU has been, listen, they lost a lot. They lost coordinators. They lost the Heisman Trophy winner. They lost receivers, defenders. I mean, it was a somewhat rebuild for the Tigers. And, I mean, they've struggled just like Tennessee finding consistent quarterback play. And listen, 2020 is the year of offense, and if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have an offense. And it's either the haves and the have-nots. And Tennessee, LSU, they just have not figured out that position.
And Alabama and Florida both have excellent offenses, while they're both trending towards the SEC championship game. Brad, Gary, and Jamie getting ready for Alabama, LSU. Flag down, quarterback down. Another sack. Uman-Mielen has the sack. We'll check the flag. Cade Mays slow getting up. Princely Uman-Mielen, true freshman from Maynard, Texas.
Holding. Offense number 73. The penalty is declined. Second down.
Cade Mays hobbles off the field for Tennessee, so hopefully he's all right. It was a special moment with Cade Mays and Cooper Mays starting for the first time. It's been a journey, to say the least, to get to that point. Dad Kevin was a great player for Phil Fulmer. In fact, Phil Fulmer was his offensive line coach. Fulmer makes the catch. All right, so how do you grade out without looking at the film, right? How do you grade out Kyle Trask tonight?
Listen, it was a good performance. I wouldn't say it was his best. I think he would agree he missed some passes, but overall, I mean, we'll give him a B+, maybe A-. I would say good enough to continue to keep him, in my mind, as the favorite to win the Heisman as of right now.
Gators rally, fourth down coming. Vant makes the grab.
Who do you got? I have Trask 1, Mac 2.
Timeout.
You know,
Tennessee.
Where's Ian Book?
The third and final of the half.
I do like Ian Book. I mean, what he's been able to do. He just doesn't have the stats that these guys have. You know, he takes care of the football. He's won some big games, but I mean, when you got these two guys throwing in the 30s for touchdowns.
Feels like Ian Book has really made that next step in QB for Notre Dame.
I agree. And listen, honestly, I don't know at the end of the day, too, if the winner decides the SEC championship game right now. I do think Kyle Trask has somewhat of a comfortable lead, in my opinion, for the Heisman Trophy. And obviously, Matt can go out there and throw 6 touchdowns tonight. And who knows how that changes some people's perspective. But you know, the numbers that Kyle Trask has been able to produce this year, obviously, they're better in some categories, and I think in a lot of good categories, especially touchdowns, than when you look at Mac Jones's numbers right now.
when so often we're talking about the guys change the schools, including Joe Burrow, who goes on to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, for Kyle Trask, coaching change and QB battles, and he just knew, very confident, as he told us this week, deep down, he said, I knew Florida was the right place for me, and it has certainly worked out, especially in the Dan Mullen offense with all of the talented players around him. So Kyle Trask's instincts and belief were absolutely right. And, you know, really the same thing for Kyle Pitts, who told us this week. I mean, there were some who said, okay, all right, you take the big hit, the nose injury from Georgia, maybe shut it down, opt out, go to the NFL. He says, I'm a competitor, and I'm having fun with these guys. That one as close to a pick as Florida's had tonight, but it's showing up on the field, and the devotion to the Gators and the desire to do exactly this, win an SEC East title and play for the SEC championship. This is what everybody had in mind.
Yeah, that's the #1 goal. I mean, when you make your goals for the season, it's first win your side of the SEC, win the East, then get to Atlanta, win Atlanta, and then from there, you know, most likely, because you're in the SEC, you're going to be in the playoffs. So then it's win the first playoff game, win the second playoff game. But the most important thing is you got to first at least get to Atlanta. And 58 seconds, Florida's going to be able to say that, hey, we punched our ticket.
Crowd pressure, gets away, rolls, and takes it out of bounds. So Bama LSU first time in 92 years in December. Well, there's another player down for Tennessee. It's Calvert, and this is very unfortunate at the end of this game for Tennessee. Already without Brandon Kennedy, starting center. Cade Mays just went off, and now Karan Calvert, who's played a lot at right tackle, is down for the Volunteers.
Number 74 right there, and just looks like he got his leg rolled up.
Albert's played well at right tackle, alternating with Darnell Wright. And with Calvert down, we will step aside. Tackled, so Cooper Mays will come back in the game for Tennessee. Kyle Trask becomes the first Florida quarterback 3 games of 400+ passing yards in a season, and you know how many great quarterbacks.
They get, what, 3 Heisman Trophy winners?
Right.
So, I mean, to be the first to do that it's impressive stuff.
Out to the outside, screen blown up. Gators rallying to the football, even with the 2s and the 3s in. Hyatt makes the grab. So, for Florida in the SEC, just announcing the last 2 weeks of the regular season yesterday, but it's LSU and Florida, Tennessee scheduled to play Vanderbilt. That is a touchdown, Tennessee. Jones hauls it in. From Shrout, there is a flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense #1.
Well, beautifully thrown football. 1-on-1 the outside. He sees it early, hits his back step, keeps it on the outside shoulder. Could have used a few more of those early on in this football game, but like we said, Florida's playing with a couple backups, soft coverage. But still, he's come in there. JT is throwing some good balls, some out routes with some mustard on it. That was a beautifully, perfectly placed football.
The foul will be a 6 on the kickoff.
I just feel like still with Tennessee, they always say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one, whatever the saying is. If you have 4 quarterbacks, you definitely don't have one. So, you know, one comes in, he plays okay, you put another one in. So, I mean, what do you do next week? I mean, who's the quarterback going forward? I mean, at some point you got to pick one and you have to stick with them, because you can't be going back and forth like this at this position. It's not receivers, it's not running backs, it's not offensive line. The team needs to rally around a quarterback.
So Magley, PAT is no good. So that's a bummer for Tennessee. You get in the end zone with a passing touchdown and then going on the PAT. Touchdown drives of 94, 96 yards led by J.T. Shroud. And now it's time for the play of the game. Jersey, Mike's subs.
Oh, it's just Pitts being Pitts, one-on-one fade ball, and the placement for Kyle Trask. You look at that, the adjustment going up, the body control. It's unfair. It really is. At his height, 6'6", and his size, strength, the ability to go up there and maneuver his body to make that catch. It's why he's, like I said, he's a top 10 pick in the NFL draft for catches and plays like that. And you know, don't get it twisted, man. He's improved as a blocker this year too. So he's developing that full game as he gets ready to take that next step in his career.
That was a big point. I mean, from Jeremy Pruitt especially saying, hey, the film